Hello everyone, today I'll be presenting my article called An Empirical Framework for Understanding a Player's Sense of Agency in Games. So first, here are the authors up on the screen. I will not read them because I don't want to butcher their names. The publication is from the International Journal of Human-Computer Interaction. This article was published in 2024. And when it comes to a broad summary of this, the article basically investigates how a player's connection to the game world is shaped by their perceived control during gameplay. So it examines different key factors that will go more in depth in the next few slides, but things like feedback or realism, which ultimately contribute to creating an immersive and engaging experience. This study uses interviews and surveys to develop a framework to analyze the concept of sense of agency in gaming and introduces a questionnaire to measure it. So with that, it's important to understand what is a sense of agency, or SOA, which is basically a player's feeling of control over their actions and their impacts on the game world. So it helps create meaningful and engaging interactive experiences in games. Sense of agency also allows players to feel personally involved in the story by making their choices and actions feel impactful and connected to the narrative. So now an article summary. So basically the main argument of this article was that a sense of agency is a critical and multi-dimensional concept in gaming that's essential for understanding how players can connect to and engage with games. So there's two specific dimensions that it goes over. First is expectation, which basically reflects how well a game aligns with what players anticipate with what will happen as a result of their action. And then there's externalization, which examines how clearly and meaningful the game mirrors and responds to those actions. So these dimensions emphasize the importance of making players feel that their choices matter and that their actions actually have a tangible impact on the game world. So next, the two dimensions of a sense of agency, so the expectation and externalization, are also shaped by four critical factors. So first would be multi-sensory presentation. So for example, when it comes to the dimensions, say externalization, for instance, this would be making a player's actions feel impactful through sensory feedback like vibrations or sound effects. Next would be feedback reasoning. So when it comes to expectation, this could be by ensuring that the game's responses logically follow player actions, such as a door opening after a button is pressed. Then is virtual realism. So this can strengthen the externalization by creating a believable game world where the environment reacts authentically. So for example, imagine footprints appearing in the snow as the player walks, or objects realistically toppling when bumped into. And then lastly is the control smoothness. So this basically can contribute to, say, expectation by offering responsive controls that match the player's input precisely. So for instance, a character immediately jumps when the jump button is pressed without like a noticeable delay, or having fluid camera movements that can track the player's perspective seamlessly. So well-designed controls and mechanics like these basically again help immerse players, making them feel as though they are part of the actual game, and fostering a stronger emotional connection by giving players meaningful control over their actions, and basically deepening their investment in the story. So when it comes to why this article is relevant, so as it explores a sense of agency and how it shapes interactive storytelling, we get to examine like player control's impacts on narrative engagement. So think of games like The Sims and Skyrim. So when it comes to a sense of agency with these ones, The Sims provides control over characters' lives, environments, empowering players to craft unique personalized stories. And similarly, Skyrim combines an expansive, responsive world with branching narratives, meaningful choices, and making players feel like their actions actually shape the game's outcome. This article also provides a framework for understanding how such experiences are designed and measured, offering practical insights into how game mechanics and narratives can empower players and create compelling, immersive stories. So this article bridges that storytelling and game design, and basically the research can help equip designers or researchers with different tools to analyze and enhance agency in interactive narratives. So lastly, some discussion questions to consider. So how has the emphasis on player agency influenced the way narratives are designed in games? Secondly, what design challenges arise when trying to balance player freedom with a cohesive story? And then lastly, how can game designers enhance a player's sense of agency in ways that make their actions feel meaningful and impactful? And how might these approaches differ across various genres of interactive storytelling?